The name of this lesson is How to Answer Behavioral or Competency-Based Interview Questions. Remember the last time you told a story about something that happened to you in the past? You'd probably recycled that same story at least a dozen times. You tend to tell the same stories over and over again, adding a little detail here, embellishing there. The better you are at telling a story that underlines or emphasizes your behavioral strengths or competencies, the more likely you are to get the job. So let's begin. In this lesson, we will go over 3 items. 1. What are behavioral-based questions? 2. How to prepare. And 3. The 3 keys to a great answer. Point 1 is, what are behavioral-based questions and why do interviewers like to ask them? Have you ever needed advice? Maybe it was how to talk to a friend or a partner, or how to handle a difficult customer, or what decision to make with your money. You probably sought out someone who had experience in that area, or maybe you read a book by an expert. What you were seeking was information about how someone else had successfully handled the similar situation. Interviewers use behavioral style questions in the same way you ask for advice. They present you with a situation or circumstance you've probably encountered and ask how you handled it. Think about the words behavior and competency. Behavior is simply how you behaved or acted in a certain situation, and competency is what you're good at or where you are competent. Both are questions about how you acted in the past and what you are good at. Questions like, can you tell me about a time when you were confronted with a difficult challenge in your career? Or, tell me about a time when your leadership skills made a significant impact, are behavioral or competency-based questions. The interviewer is trying to predict how you will do in future situations by looking at how you responded to similar situations in the past. If you've done your homework and prepared for these types of questions, you'll be able to pull a challenge or achievement from your past and talk about it coherently and effectively. Point number 2 is how to prepare. Think of a sport you enjoy playing. Maybe it's football or tennis. When you go up against a competitor you've already played, you have a certain advantage because you know their game plan and can exploit it. Knowing in advance that you will be asked behavioral-based questions and preparing for them is like having home court advantage. The big question is, how do you know what they are going to ask? There's no sure way of knowing, but here's how to be proactive. Go back to the job description and find the list of soft skills or core competencies. They are typically listed under headings called required knowledge, skills and abilities, or soft skills. You're looking for key words like responsible, forward-thinking, team player, proactive, or handle stress. If the company is looking to hire people who have these particular soft skills, you will most likely be asked behavioral-type questions that determine whether you have them. Once you've located the core competencies in that particular job, go back to your CV and identify at least 2 examples from your work experience for each competency. Think about your achievements from each past position and how they relate to the list of core competencies. For example, if one of the key words is proactive, find an example where you were proactive. If you can't find any examples from your actual work experience, then you'll need to find examples from your extracurricular activities. If you take the time to prepare, you will be more comfortable answering these behavioral type questions with ease and clarity. Point number 3 is the 3 keys to a great answer. Think of someone you know who makes you laugh every time they tell a joke. Even if you've already heard the joke or story, they still make you laugh out loud every time. A good story or joke teller has a way they do it, what they include, how they say it, when they say it, that makes it work. Well, the same is true for a good answer to a behavioral type question. When you get asked questions like, can you tell me about a time when, the interviewer is actually looking for you to answer in a very specific way. Here's what they're looking for you to do. First, describe the situation. Second, detail the specific action you took. And third, provide the results that occurred. For example, if they ask, can you tell me about a time when you were confronted with a challenge in your career, you could say, I just finished typing the last sentence from my report when my computer crashed. That's the situation. Using patience and my limited knowledge of IT, I was able to find a recovered copy of the document on my hard drive minus the last 2 pages. I canceled the meeting so I could rewrite the pages that had not been recovered. That's the action. As a result, I was able to complete the document and turn it in under deadline. But as a precaution against this type of problem occurring in the future, I am now utilizing a cloud service that automatically saves my documents and is accessible from any computer. That's the result. If you need a few extra seconds to think, ask them to repeat the question or just repeat the question back to them to make sure you understand. So to recap, the best way to answer behavioral or competency-based interview questions is to, first, understand why they are being asked. Second, prepare answers that demonstrate your core competencies. And third, make sure your answers include the situation, action, and results.